My travels around Greece as part of this odyssey have taken me from the heart of the nation, Athens, and throughout several of the major island groups. We've cruised around the coast of the Peloponnese and travelled amongst the Ionian Islands. Then we made our way across to the northern Aegean before spending time exploring the hidden gems of the western Cycladic. And man, was it beautiful. This series sees us steering Mοιάζει further eastward and into the Dodecanese. In this episode, I'm headed for Lyiψοί, a peaceful little gem that's a long way from Athens, and well and truly off the mainstream tourist radar. Here I'll be getting my hands dirty as I learn about the island's unique history. I'll be meeting some researchers protecting the marine environments. I'll head to a farm that's unlike any other I've come across. Plus I'll be getting a taste of the local cuisine and showing you how to make one of my favourite dishes. To the south of me is Leros. To the west is the holy island of Patmos. And just to the north of me is the island of Lyiψοί. Inhabitants, 800 people. Where we are now, this is the small island group of Macronesia. Macronesia means long islands. Now this little archipelago is actually part of the greater Lyiψούς, 24 islands that surround Lyiψοί. This island group is known as the Polynesia of Greece because the water is just so green. I don't think I've seen greener water anywhere else in Greece. And getting here is actually quite simple. There's ferries coming from Piraeus and Kalymnos and all the islands almost every day. But I see lots of yachts in the distance. It's a very popular yachting island, but it's hot, there's no breeze, and I should just go for a swim. I might head down now, but I'm just looking for a way down. I've forgotten my way. I think I know where they're going. Now you can see why I couldn't just cruise on by this place without stopping to check it out. Have a look at that water. It's absolutely stunning, and the beauty of it clearly isn't lost on the tourists. Despite being a totally uninhabited group of rocks, surrounded by several better-known islands, this place draws a crowd. We're in the middle of nowhere, and all these boats have come out of nowhere. It's amazing, but it's beautiful. Look at it. It's absolutely magnificent. You can understand why they call it the Polynesia of Greece. Yanni, how close are we going to go?
Over there, now.
We'll go that close.
Yeah.
So we're going to stern to, which means that we're going to take the boat and reverse it back into there. Yanni's going to drop 2 anchors. He'll move the boat out one way, drop 1 anchor, and then he'll move the boat out another way, drop another anchor, so the anchors are apart, and then he'll slowly reverse. And Mikey is tying a rope to the rocks. We'll bring that rope back and we'll be tied to the rocks, and we tied with the anchors on both sides. So you see when Yanni goes like that, that means, oh shit, we just dropped anchor. And that's the call for the other anchor. It might not have the overwater bungalows and palm trees of Polynesia, but it has that gorgeous blue water. We couldn't linger too long in the Greek version of a Pacific paradise, as we had a strict schedule to stick to. So after a swim, we moved to our next major port on the island of Lyiψοί. It's very different to Macronesia, with its built-up harbour and lively town, but one thing that two have in common is that only tourists in the know come here. It's far enough from the popular haunts to retain its authenticity, but developed enough to have all the comforts you could want. Only metres from the port here at Lyiψοί is this famous shop that I've been to before. It's the bakery, it's the patisserie, it's the local shop, it's everything. And it's open 24 hours a day. For an island with 800 people, 24 hours a day, what is it? Well, man, they make the best patsarouvopita. Geez, I didn't say that too badly, 6 syllables, patsarouvopita. Translated, that means rag pie. Now, they make a sweet rag pie here. Kyriako makes a savoury rag pie, and there's a bit of discussion about what it should be, but who cares? Locally, they do it as a sweet rag pie, and I'm going to go and try it right now because I miss it. I haven't had it for 5 years. Nikita's shop is far more than just a bakery. It's an island institution. You need some breakfast? Then pop in. Feeling peckish for something sweet? He's got you covered. Wondering where the local doctor is? Ask Nikita. Hell, it's even a tourist information centre. He's such a good guy and one of the important strings that ties this community together. If there's one thing I've learned over the years, it's that the best memories come about when more than one of your senses are engaged. For example, if you look at a photo of a cake, yeah, you can probably recall it. But if you see one on a cake stand and get a chance to smell it, then the memory is even better ingrained. Now imagine how much more embedded in your mind it will be if you also get to have a taste. It's been 5 years since I last tried this patsarovopita, and the few moments I had to wait before getting a bite of it this time felt like hours of excruciating withdrawals.
You got to appreciate, when I went to bed last night, I was dreaming of my patsarovopita. Now this thing has got yogurt, eggs, sugar, all this other stuff in it, but the yogurt, it's the only thing I'll eat with yogurt in it. Here in Lειψοί. So let's give it a shot. I haven't had it for 5 years. Look at that, look how soft it is, it's beautiful. Oh, it's just so good. And a name like rag pie, it's just totally wrong. It just shouldn't have that name, it should have a different name. But then again, the Florentines, they have ribollita, which is they stuff anything in it, and ribollita, that soup is awesome. So it's a similar thing. They just stuff anything in it, that's why they call it rag pie. Patsarovopita, try saying that. It's bloody hard, I'll tell you. Nikita, wherever you are, siniasu.
The ringing of goat's bells. It's the symphony of the Greek countryside. It's a slightly higher pitch than the melodies of the cows in Switzerland, but just as heartwarming.
Yeah. Come on, listen to him. I suppose you're thinking, another goat story. Well, it's not so. Here in Lειψοί there is a special farm run by this eccentric person that loves making cheese. And this farm just doesn't have goats on it. It's got cows, it's got buffaloes, it's got emus, it's got every animal you can think of. Well, almost every animal that I can think of anyway. So I'm going to go and check it out and see what the story is.
This place is as much a zoo as it is a farm. The variety of animals is unreal, and they each serve a purpose. The farm was set up by Italian businessman Alessandro Baldissera. He's as passionate about animals and cheese making as he is about the island. So he wanted to combine the three, which led him to establishing Alpha Farm in 2015. In the years since, it's become renowned for the quality and variety of the products they make. In particular, their buffalo cheese. Running the farm is Nectarios Grillis, who has the same enthusiasm for the animals and cheeses as Alessandro. He spends his days tending to the menagerie, which I reckon is every kid's dream job.
Τώρα είναι δεύτερη χρονιά, όπως φαίνεται θα κάνουν...
μικρά.
Yeah. So they've had the ostriches for a couple of years, and this is the first year where they're actually incubating themselves, the eggs. So it looks like we're going to have more ostriches in the coming months. Oh, look, she's going to move a couple again. Hey?
Αλλάζουν.
Ναι.
Και τα τρία.
Και τα τρία.
Ναι.
So Nectario is telling me they take turns, male and female, to sit on top of the ostrich eggs to incubate them. Τα αυγά τι τα κάνουνε?
Αυτά θα βγουν πουλάκια του.
Τα κάνουν πουλάκια, έτσι? They're just breeding these birds to breed the birds just for the sake of having the ostriches, unlike some of the other animals that are here specifically for their milk. No, I'm not putting my finger in there. Don't expect me to put my finger in there. These ostriches are very dangerous at the moment because they're protecting the eggs. The eggs have just come out. And if you do anything that affects the eggs, they're going to attack you. My friend Nectario, he's got massive kahunas to be doing what he's doing at the moment. Γιατί το κάνεις αυτό, δεν κάνεις?
Δεν μπορεί να γίνει. Απλώς έτσι...
Ναι. Έχουνε όνομα?
Όχι.
On an island like Lειψοί, this is absolutely magnificent that the Italian owner can breed animals sustainably because it's such a small island, 800 people. This is fantastic. Over here, we've got young cows and buffalo living together in harmony.
Θα έρθουν, απλώς θα έρθουν μόνα τους, γιατί άμα
Είναι ήμερα, έτσι.
Ναι, κοίτα.
Look at this, eh? What a bunch of beautiful little animals,
Έλα,
eh?
έλα.
How are you, buddy? And not on my t-shirt, because I've got to do more shooting today, okay? All right? Come here.
Έλα εδώ.
Hey, here you go. This one really likes me.
Όχι έτσι, τα βουβάλια είναι πολύ...
What Nectario is saying is that the buffalo are very, very close to the humans. Is that right? They love the humans. Look at this, he's pushing me over, he just wants to hug me. Ωραίο, eh? And they like the...
Πάρεις ένα. Πάρεις ένα μαζί σου.
Να πάρω ένα, στο σκάφος. Nectario reckons I should take one with me onto the boat. Eh?
Ωραία να είσαι μέσα στο αυτοκίνητο και
Τι
να
ωραία
μπαίνει μέσα.
πράγματα, eh? No, not down there, not down there, okay? I know we're friends, but hey.
Πρόσεχε μόνο που ήταν, εδώ.
Hey, listen, you want to come with me? You want to come with me? Come on, let's go.
Δεν του δίνεις θάρρος. Δεν του δίνεις θάρρος.
Hey, I like you. You're okay.
Θα δεις και τον μπαμπά της. Θα μιλήσεις και θα πεις και ο μπαμπάς της.
Ναι.
There were animals everywhere. Llamas, all sorts of birds, horses, goats, buffalo, you name it, and they probably had a couple. The beautiful thing is, many of them are just here because Alessandro likes them, and they're treated really well.
Oh, he's loving that. She's loving that. She's loving that. And look at it, she's loving that. She's wallowing. Bliss. Something just happened there. Oh. I think she farted. That was so dense. Let me just take in some fresh air. The things we do for this show. I don't want to touch my face with the... Man, there's some big buffalo there. Wow.
Πιάστε. Αυτό είναι το μπαμπάς της.
Ο μπαμπάς της Τάλης.
Ναι, γι' αυτό άμα θες να...
I just met your offspring. Sir. Αυτός με κοιτάει καλά.
Αυτή, κορίτσια είναι όλα, μόνο το πρώτο.
Όλα κορίτσια.
Ναι, μόνο το πρώτο είναι το ασθενικό.
So there's a bunch of girls here, a bunch of female buffalo. There's only one male buffalo at the end there. I think he's laughing. I think he's a very, very happy buffalo.
Όπως και οι αγελάδες.
Πολύ χαρούμενος έτσι αυτός. Τι ωραία να έχει. He's got a harem. He's got a harem here in Lειψοί. Αυτή έχει όνομα.
You don't see too many cows, let alone buffalo, in the Greek islands. It's not exactly the type of environment they're suited to. But the variety they keep are able to live in the arid countryside, largely thanks to the additional feed they're provided.
Εσύ γεννήθηκες εδώ, έτσι, στη Λειψή. Αγαπάς τα...
Ναι, πάρα πολύ.
He loves the animals. He loves the animals. You know, it's something I see here. You know, I see the farmers, they're a different breed.
Δεν τα χτυπάμε, γι' αυτό είναι έτσι.
You don't hit them.
Παγορεύεται εδώ πέρα. Δεν μπορεί να σε διώξει από τη δουλειά για να...
Άμα το χτυπήσει κανένας.
Το έχεις φύγει.
That's it, mate.
Έχεις φύγει από τη δουλειά, όχι.
Βεβαίως. You know, living side by side like this is fantastic, Nectario. You're a legend, mate. You're a legend.
I've always had a soft spot for animals. Their survival is often at the whim of humans, and too often they're mistreated and looked upon as being disposable commodities, instead of respected and appreciated. But the beautiful creatures here seem healthy and happy, and visiting Alpha Farm has restored some of my faith in humanity. As for that little buffalo, as much as I wanted to take her along for the rest of the Odyssey, she had an important job to do here. I'll have to come back and visit sometime. Around the world, there are wonderful people working at non-government organisations serving to benefit communities, protect the environment, help the needy and essentially bring a little balance to the planet. One such group is Archipelagos. It's a marine conservation institute set up to research and protect the biodiversity of the Greek islands and entire eastern Mediterranean. It brings together academics, students and volunteers from different parts of the planet, each with a shared passion for the marine environment.
Where do you guys start? You've got 75 people doing all this work. Where do you start? There's so many areas to look at. What do you do?
Unlike a university or a research center, Archipelagos Institute of Marine Conservation does what I like to call defense work. We do the minimum research needed to prove the extent of a problem or of a status of a conservation of a species. And then we try to encourage universities, experts, academics from all around the world to come here and have the ability to focus on each individual problems and do more in-depth work.
You must be proud of what you're doing.
I am. It's not easy. It's a life choice for 20 years that we have to be here 24/7, never have a day off, never have a moment off. But it's something that I think is worth it. If I don't do it, who will? And that's why we're trying to open Archipelagos as a platform for useful people. And everyone gives time, expertise, brain, good energy, good thoughts to push this forward, because it's not a Greek problem, it's a global problem. And if we solve it here, we can solve it elsewhere.
They work on a shoestring budget, always looking for sponsors to support their research. These young people give their life to the labour, spending every waking hour on the job, totally dedicated to the task at hand. I was lucky to be amongst such a hard-working and committed group of people who are also very friendly, welcoming outsiders to learn about what they do, and in my case, instilling some passion for the cause.
This is being built as a dolphin sanctuary, is that right?
Yeah, so one part of what we do is the Aegean Marine Life Sanctuary. So it's a project that we're wanting to start up. The aim is that we can rehabilitate some marine mammals and then also dolphins that are currently in dolphinariums that are shutting. Currently, there's not necessarily a solution for where they go.
What is a dolphinarium?
So it's almost like a zoo-style version of where the dolphins are. So they'll do shows to the public.
Yep.
Often they're in very shallow, cramped conditions. And sometimes when these places shut, because there's no network in place for what to do with them afterwards, sometimes they actually get sent to other dolphinariums.
Right.
So this is what we're posing as a potential solution. So they go back into a it's more like their natural environment.
And then when they're okay here, you send them out in the wild again?
Not necessarily, it depends. Our vet will work on a process with each individual dolphin. So for some of them, it's a case of if they're born in captivity and they've lived in this environment their whole life, they can't necessarily be put back into the wild.
Right.
So something like this would act as almost like a retirement home for them.
Why did you pick Lyiψοί? I understand that this is like one of the best recycling islands in all of Greece, and it's really, really clean. What's the facts behind that?
Yeah, so for us, Lyiψοί is a green island. Coming from the UK, things like recycling is something I was common with, brought up doing.
Yep.
And when I first came to Greece, some of the other islands, it's not necessarily something that's in place.
Yep.
But the moment I came to Lyiψοί, it's already here.
Yeah.
It's something they've done for a long time. And like last year, they already had a fresh water system set up, so that they were reducing the amount of bottled water and plastic that they were using.
For such a small island, 15 square kilometres, 39 kilometres of perimeter, and only 800 people, they're way ahead, aren't they? You've been here for a long time. You've been 3 years, you spent a lot of time here. Does that sound right?
Yeah, I mean, I really like what they do here. That's why I come back and I continue doing what I do here.
You're awesome, Emma. You're fantastic. I love what you guys are doing. I want to go and have a look at what they're doing over there.
Emma specialises in seagrass, and along with her team is studying the ability to harvest the grass for the purpose of establishing new environments elsewhere. It's extremely important work for the creation of sanctuaries.
So this is the species we're most interested in here because it's protected. So you shouldn't be fishing over it, you shouldn't be anchoring into it. This is Posidonia oceanica. Seagrass is basically like a plant that's fallen over and you get the trunk underwater and just the leaves poke through, and then you have the roots coming down. When they take the carbon dioxide in and they produce oxygen, that's when they're doing that storing process.
So you're pulling this out, what do you do with these things? What are you doing with the Posidonia oceanica?
So with these fragments, we're looking at different ways to try and replant them because they're potentially fragments that might not have rerouted on their own.
So this is like new stuff. This hasn't been done anywhere.
Not necessarily in this way.
What happens if it works? If you create a bush of this stuff underwater, right?
Yeah.
Then it works. What happens?
Well, ideally we'd be looking at publishing that, but telling other people so
And
it
telling
can
the
be
world.
repeated. Yeah, exactly.
You guys are changing the world here.
It's habitat restoration, though it could be done in other places, not just in this locality. Everything we do here, we kind of do on a small scale, but it has larger scale consequences, like with the sanctuary. It could then be used in other places.
Should I jump in there and give them a hand? You know, because they need a free diver that can go down to 2 metres.
You know,
Hey, don't you think?
well, you do get seagrass in 2 metres.
We do get seagrass in 2 metres. I'll do the 2 metre stuff while they're doing the 10 metre stuff, okay?
Okay, yeah.
Let's go. Let's go, guys.
This is a world first, and a depth of knowledge and ability to confidently take on such a huge task is impressive at any age, let alone for someone so young. When you consider that seagrass are like the Amazon rainforest of the deep, you get a better picture of the role it plays. This seemingly innocuous plant oxygenates our oceans. It provides habitat for marine life and holds the seafloor together. In 10 or 20 years from now, I'm looking forward to meeting Emma again and referring to her as Dr. Emma, the woman that helped save our oceans. Early in the episode, I met Nectario at the farm. He was such a great guy. In fact, he politely offered to take us for a horse ride. It was an offer I couldn't turn down, even if I'm not exactly a horse whisperer.
Now's the time to be riding. It's nice and cool. Sun's coming down. This is wonderful. Such a small island, and to have horses on it and be riding around with the family and friends, and you friends, obviously. Wonderful. Hey. You know what's good? I've got Helen to come as well.
That's my beautiful wife Helen at the back, in the white cat. This is a very special moment because even though we do everything together, she likes her privacy. I'm always talking about her in the show, and people often ask when they'll get to see Helen make an appearance. Well, finally she's weakened, and the enigma of Helen is no more.
A bit close to the edge. I don't think there's a better way to finish our time in Lειψοί than riding off into the sunset. Absolutely awesome.
This seemingly simple act that's routine for many a farmer is unique for city dwellers like my friends, family and I. It was great to share the moment with them and start winding up my time on Lειψοί with everyone around me. Special moments are made all the more rewarding when they're shared with loved ones. And just so you know, Helen had a great time. Of an evening, the port areas transform. During the day, they can often be quiet as people avoid the heat and are relaxing at the beach. Come late afternoon, lights of the bars and taverns start turning on, and the murmur of chatting diners fills the air.
There's nothing like returning to a restaurant where you had more than just a gastronomic experience. Here in this tiny island of Lειψοί is this wonderful restaurant that Manoli runs. And it's not just the food that is awesome, but it's the way that he delivers that food to you. He's a traditionalist, so he gets you in the kitchen and you look at what you want to eat and then you go out and eat. But his food is not necessarily traditional. It's 21st century Greek food that's got a little bit of a twist to it. It's awesome. I'm going to share it with some friends and the crew.
This is all homemade and all traditional Greek food.
Okay.
Okay? Would you like to explain, yeah?
Absolutely. Let's go, let's go, let's go.
This is chicken in tomato sauce with sweet wine from Lειψοί.
Chicken.
Chicken, yeah. Look, it's a chicken breast. And my grandmother used to put olives, peppers, and before to serve it, she put cheese. Here is the rabbit.
Rabbit stew.
Stifado, yes.
Oh, man, rabbit stifado.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, so it's got the onions in it as well?
Yes, a lot of onions. This is aubergines cooked in the oven with the garlic and feta. And it's a nice starter. This is a beautiful thing. This is a lamb. It's out the bone. and I serve it on the plate with a pepper sauce.
That looks awesome, man.
Yeah, you're gonna taste everything now.
I'm gonna have them all, mate. I think I'm gonna have more. What's this one here?
This is very nice also. This is pork with parmesan sauce, peppers, and mushrooms. It's also very good. This is really traditional. This is pork in lemon sauce with celery root, carrots, and leek. Also nice.
Oh, man.
Cuttlefish cooked the ink sauce.
In ink sauce.
Yeah, and served with risotto or linguine or pasta. This is a nice one.
Aubergine as well.
Yeah, this is aubergine. Then I stuffed the aubergines and I put it in the oven with cheese. This is pork now. The pork is cooked before in tomato sauce.
That looks just so good. Now listen,
Thank you very
Manoli,
much. Yes.
I want everything.
Okay.
I want everything for my people.
This is what we're going to do.
Yep.
I will put it's one at your table.
Yeah.
So you're going to taste everything.
Fantastic.
And whatever you like more, I will recover.
Thank you, buddy.
Okay? Thank you very much.
Thank you, mate. You're welcome. I'll see you a bit later. We'll have a drink, eh?
Yes, of course. Of
Okay,
course.
yeah.
Thank you.
It looks like we're in for a big dinner. That suits the crew and I perfectly. In case it wasn't obvious enough, I'm a massive fan of Manoli's cooking. Some of the more traditional Greek foodies occasionally find all the herbs and spices from different parts of the world a bit too unique for them. I, on the other hand, have a palate that likes to try new and different flavours. Rest assured, there's all the usuals on the menu, like a simple Greek salad or grilled sardines, but there's also more exotic things to try or old-style dishes with a Manoli twist. And while I may not be a food critic, I can say with confidence that you'll love this place. Manoli's version of traditional Greek dishes is awesome. Mind you, if you ate here every day, you'd probably pack on the weight pretty quickly.
Το λένε κλείδωνα γιατί έχει κλεισμένα τα μυστικά της μοίρας κάθε ανήπατρης κοπέλας. Και αυτή τη μέρα τα ανοίγει σε όσους...
Across the islands of Greece, there are customs that extend from rites of passage and celebrations of past events to religious festivals. On the island of Lειψοί, one of the annual events that brings the community together is the celebration of St. John Klidhonas. Naturally, it includes a feast, but there's also a rather unique part of the festivities that's embraced by the young of the island, and me too, of course. The idea behind the leap across the fire is that the flames and smoke purifies you, freeing you from evil. It's similar in some regards to what Native Americans and Indigenous Australians do with their smoking ceremonies.
We shouldn't do this in normal practice, but it's a celebration. It's a religious celebration, and it's safe, and there's ambulance people in the background, so it's okay to jump, all right? But never do this any other time, okay? Let's go. You jump first, and I'll jump after you, okay?
Ό,τι θέλετε, κουμπιά, σκουλαρίκια.
Of course, you can't have a festival without some singing and dancing. As much as food, religion, and family underpin Greek culture, song and dance are also important threads in that rich tapestry. It's not just the older people that embrace it too. The younger ones here take to the dance floor as eagerly as their parents. The echo of music filled the town, drawing everyone in to join the celebrations. Festivals like this play an important role in the communities of these small Greek islands. It galvanises the people, bringing them closer together. It also keeps them feeling part of the broader Greek nation as a whole, rather than being a forgotten outpost.
Kalimera, Kyriako, τι γίνεσαι? I love your smile, don't you love your smile? This island really doesn't have any provincial dish that I like, but I love stuffed tomatoes and capsicums. Τομάτες γεμιστές.
Μάλιστα.
Από πού έρχονται αυτά?
Αυτό είναι από τα νησιά του Αιγαίου γενικά.
Ναι.
Και η ντομάτα που για να μην τους χαλάσει προσπαθούσαν να φτιάξουν κάτι.
So when the tomatoes were left over and they were about to go off because you had too many tomatoes, this is the dish they made. Τώρα, τι έχουμε εδώ?
Ντομάτες, μελιτζάνες, 3 κρεμμύδια μεγάλα, μαϊντανό, δυόσμο, το ρύζι που είναι βασικό υλικό για το τέτοιο, ζάχαρη και αυτό βασικό, αλάτι, κουκουνάρι και πατάτες στο νερό για να μας βρίσουν.
What are we going to do first? Take the center out, we take the little pit out of the tomato, we chuck that out, and then we take the contents of the tomato, which we're going to use in the mix with all this other stuff. Ooh, look at the juicy tomato. I love Greek tomatoes. I mean, I don't know what it is about Mediterranean tomatoes, but they taste so much better because it's straight from paddock to plate, you know. Τι το κάνουμε αυτό?
Αυτό να το κρατήσουμε.
Can I have a go at this? Μπορώ να το κάνω εγώ.
Βεβαίως.
I'm going to do this. Now, my turn.
Τότε να καθαρίσω εγώ από εδώ.
You start with the aubergines, and I'm going to start. I've got to violate these tomatoes, you know. I feel really bad because they're a living thing, you know. And Kyriako over there is preparing the rest of it. Now, we've got to be careful when we're violating these tomatoes that we don't penetrate the skin because then it won't work. I can't do this like Kyriako can. I'm going to stuff it up.
Δεν βιαζόμαστε καθόλου.
Okay. No, εσύ κάνε τη δουλειά σου. You do your job. Don't worry about me, mate. Hey? Don't worry about me. I've previously washed my hands not once but twice. I'm doing a good job. Is that a good job or what? Καλή δουλειά.
Ναι, ναι. Για πρώτη φορά βέβαια.
How do you know it's my first time? He's saying for first time it's a good job. How do you know it's my first? Πώς ξέρεις πως είναι η πρώτη φορά?
Έτσι πιστεύω. Δεν ξέρω.
Yeah, well, you're right. You're right. Okay, Kyriako, don't give me a hard time, right? I keep.
Και Παναγιώτη, κουφτώνεται σαν...
Okay, hey, listen. You just do your job, right? Okay. He's trying to teach me how to do things, right? I suppose he is. Anyway. So we put that down there. We violate this tomato. Look at that. Is that a good job, eh? And we've also got capsicums. And with the capsicums, what do? We pull this out, don't we?
Yes.
But we don't use that. We throw that in there, don't we? Δεν το μεταχειρίζουμε αυτό.
Μερικοί δεν τους αρέσει η γεύση, γι' αυτό ας το βγάλουμε στην άκρη.
Some people do. Some people do. So we just pull the guts out of these things.
Να σας πιάσω και εγώ λίγο.
Ναι, κάνε και εσύ. You're going to do it too. We're going to do it together.
Είστε γρήγορος εδώ, τελειώσατε.
I'm pretty good, eh? He's pretty impressed with my capability. You keep going, because I'm going too quick, right? Look at this. Look at the colour. Look at the gear in here. Look at that. I could eat that like that now, you know. I think the other thing you should understand is the stuffing that we have here is basically rice and aubergine and onion. Many people stuff them with mincemeat as well. That's what my mother did as well, mincemeat and rice. But that's actually not the original recipe. This is the original, that's it.
Ναι, η παραδοσιακή με...
The provincial dish is with rice. And that's what we're going to do. But anyway, what's next? Kyriako, τι θα κάνουμε? Throw a little bit of salt in each one. Θα βάλουμε και ζάχαρη τώρα, έτσι. Lots of, only the good sugar.
Μία.
There's quite a bit to this, and it all comes together pretty quickly. Kyriako was under pressure because I was starving. So if you want the recipe, head to our website.
I do this at work with concrete. We put a vibrator in the concrete to vibrate it down. Same sort of thing, you know. Just doing it in the kitchen. I've been doing this for 30 years.
I don't often cook at home, but watching Kyriako at work brings back fond memories of spending time with my mum in the kitchen as a boy. The sounds, colours and aromas each have a memory attached. However, the little tastes along the way are the most evocative. It makes the cooking process on the boat so special for me. I really do enjoy spending time with Kyriako in the kitchen.
Δεν θα γεμίζουμε μέχρι πάνω.
Not to the top. I'm going to do this.
Στα 3 τώρα. Βέβαια. Εσείς τα ανοίξατε, εσείς πρέπει να τα κλείσετε.
Yeah, that's right. So not to the top.
Εγώ θα τα αγγίξω.
Not to the top. And what have I done with the first one? I've done it at the top and spilt it.
Το γεμίζουμε στα 3/4 της ντομάτας γιατί το ρύζι φουσκώνει.
So we only fill it 3/4 because the rice actually expands. So if we filled it all the way up, the tomato would bust. And all that's left is to put the remainder of the tomato emulsion and some olive oil on the top, and we're done. Now he's putting salt on it. Now that emulsion looks awesome. Oh, that's a lot of...
Είναι λαδερό φαγητό, θέλει λάδι.
45 minutes covered in the oven, and then after 45 minutes we uncover it in the oven for another 15, and we're done at 180 degrees. Let's go, so I can start eating this gear. That's awesome.
Is it crispy?
Yeah, it's crispy, it's crispy, it's good, it's still good.
Ναι. Έχει περάσει ήδη.
We'll see you in an hour. Now, Kyriako tells me that we should be having it with a bit of feta, but Greeks have everything with feta. If it's not with feta, it's with olive oil. If it's not olive oil, it's lemon. So today I'm going to just have it sketo on its own. Φέρτο εδώ να δοκιμάσω τώρα.
Αυτό και προσέξτε.
Ναι. Let's have a go at this baby. Now it's boiling hot. Look at that. Kyriako, you're a gun. You're a gun, mate. Το δοκιμάσεις εσύ. He's going to try it too. Come on.
το ρύζι δεν έχει λασπώσει. Είναι σπυρωτό. Αν το αφήσεις μέσα, κάνω τέτοιο για να μην καώ.
Τομάτες γεμιστές, stuffed tomatoes, the best, man. Almost as good as my mother's. Right up there with my mother's.
Ευχαριστώ για τα καλόγια.
Anyway, let's keep going. You can cut now.
After moussaka and souvlaki, stuffed tomatoes are right up there amongst the most popular dishes in Greece. Just about every Greek restaurant here and around the world has it on their menu, and for good reason too. Life here sure is pretty awesome. Things move slowly, with simple pleasures being the most important. Good food, great company and beautiful scenery are three pillars that make for a happy existence. Yeah, there's a bit more to life, but if you've got these as a foundation, you're starting from a pretty good place.
Just 6 nautical miles from the coast of Asia Minor is the tiniest island of Pharmakonisi. Pharmakonisi because pharmako means medicine, and Hippocrates used to come here and collect herbs for his medicine. You can't come here because it's occupied by the military, but we've got special permission to go and have a look up there.
Not far from Lyiψοί, Pharmakonisi is a 4 square kilometre speck in the vastness of the Aegean. Its importance lies in its proximity to Turkey. So like many other border islands of Greece, it has a military presence. Unfortunately, secrecy didn't allow us to film the installations here, but we were given the opportunity to interview a young lieutenant who told us about life on a frontier island.
It's very important.
Yes.
And very difficult.
Very
also.
difficult. And tell me, you are away from your family for weeks at a time on this barren island.
There is no problem of this. I communicate every day with my friends, my girl, my parents and my brother. Every day I communicate with them. There is no difficulty in this, I think.
Yep. And what's it like being in the Greek army as a soldier? Do you think you're making a difference here on Pharmakonisi?
Here in Pharmakonisi, I think is a little bit difficult than the others place in Greece. We are in the first line.
Yep.
And this is difficult, I think. We are alone here. We have a very difficult task to do, but I don't have a problem, me and the others.
I've met the other boys here, and one thing I've noticed is you're very proud to be soldiers, very proud to be in the Greek army.
Of course we are proud, me and the others here, we're very proud because we are here every day, every night and every single moment to do what we are here to do. And I'm very proud of this. Of course, I'm proud.
And of course you're in the middle of the Aegean and you've got this beautiful sea. Do you go for a swim occasionally?
No swimming.
No swimming?
No swimming. We are here for do other things, no swimming.
This is not a holiday?
No. Holiday is in Kos and Leros, not here in Pharmakonisi. Pharmakonisi we do specific things here. Not swimming, not other things.
Well, that's unfortunate because the place is beautiful and I'm sure they'd look longingly at that water on a hot summer's day. However, I have to level with you. I didn't come here just for that army base. I had another mission on my agenda, to find 2 ancient watchtowers that the base commander was sure didn't exist. But my researchers insisted I search the area near the Church of St. George, which by the way is regularly used by the soldiers here, so it's kept in great condition.
Well, I found them. Here they are. But how ironic is it that this part of the island, or this island, was used as a watch post 2,500 years ago, and still today it's being used as a watch post. Unbelievable. Anyway, they look pretty good. Built in Greece. Not bad, eh?
In ancient times, there was a huge network of watchtowers that spanned a wide arc around the Aegean. They were the early warning system for the larger surrounding islands. They acted as beacons for communication, refuges, lookouts and other essentially defensive roles. The first of them was built sometime in the 4th century BC, with those found in the Cyclades constructed at a later date, but in the same style. Even the most insignificant of Greek islands
has some special history to tell that creates its personality. Here in the Bay of Tholos, in these very kamares, a young Julius Caesar was captured and held for ransom by pirates. The pirates said to him, "Give us 20 talents and we'll release you." He laughed at them and he said, "I'll give you 50. He sat here for 38 days. In that time, he wrote speeches. That's how confident he was and how strong a man he was. The money came, he gave them the 50 talents, and as he left, he said, "I'm coming back to execute the lot of you." Months later, he sent a ship, got the pirates, took them back to Rome, put them in jail, and then executed them. What a story! And it's here on Pharmakonisi. Wow.
This story perfectly sums up the personality of Caesar. Despite his predicament, being isolated on a faraway island, held in slave-like conditions by murderous pirates, he kept his cool. In fact, it was beyond just maintaining his poise. Caesar's self-belief was verging on arrogance. Such was his ego that he had the audacity to write and forewarn his captors of their fate. It was this confidence that made him such a great leader. He was able to see what others couldn't, and then devise a pathway to achieve his goals. It took an assassination to end his reign. What a legend. Imagine the impact it would have had on the history of the world if the pirates actually killed Caesar.
We're just going into the barracks now, into the camp. And I don't think we can show you any more. I'm sorry, because this is all secure stuff and I'm going to get in trouble. Sorry. At every military post, every day in Greece and right through the world, there is a significant raising of the flag. And on this small island of Pharmakonisi, it happens every single morning. And we're here for that ritual now.
This daily routine is an important part of military service in almost every country on the planet. The raising of the flag is a statement of pride in one's nation. It's a symbol that the soldiers and the populace in general can all rally around. The singing of the national anthem plays a similar role. I think the difference here on the tiny island of Pharmakonisi is that this is essentially the front line. These guys are here for one purpose, and that's to protect Greece. They make huge sacrifices to be here, and moments like this help reassure them that they're doing the right thing. This little rock of Pharmakonisi is probably the least known of the islands I've visited, and it has plenty that makes it a great place. If only it was accessible to the public. In the next episode, I'm leaving Pharmakonisi and heading to the holy island of Patmos. It's best known as being the place where the book of Revelations was written. It's said that the disciple John was in a cave on the island when he received a vision from Jesus. Because of this, the place has strong ties to Christianity and several basilicas. Beyond the religious context, I'm also delving into the island's history, and of course, I'll show you some of the gorgeous beaches. Finishing the episode, I'll be heading to some islands east of Patmos, including Malathos, Arki, and Agathonisi. It's a feature-packed show that brings together some of the lesser-known destinations in the Greek islands.